Well, hello there, and welcome to episode 1 of my weekly weight loss vlog. So I've been kind of thinking different bits and pieces I can do on YouTube that's a bit different to what I post to TikTok and Reels, because I post on there every single day. So if you don't follow me, give me a follow at the.real.loss.boss, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. But yeah, I've been working a little bit on my YouTube recently, posting podcasts on here. And I'm like, what else can I do? And I get asked all the time, am I currently still trying to lose weight or am I just maintaining weight? Well, at the moment, I am trying to lose some weight. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to start documenting my journey in 2024. A couple of reasons. Number one, I'm hoping you guys watching it might find it a little bit interesting. You might find a little bit of inspiration, motivation, things like that around what I'm doing. Also, it's for my own accountability. So if I start doing these, hopefully I'm going to try and do them weekly. You can sort of see what I'm up to. And yeah, it will keep me accountable. It's something I've always done from the start of my weight loss journey. And it's coming up 10 years. 10 years on the 3rd of February 2014. So I started, the 3rd of February 2014. I've been at this 10 years now, and you might be there going, what, you're still trying to lose weight? You've been at this 10 years. No. I'm going to talk about that shortly, about where I'm at in my journey. But yeah, something I did from the start of my journey was always do things to make me accountable. And do you know what? All the times I've tried to lose weight in the past, and I've tried to lose weight, God knows how many times, I was always very quiet about it. I was always doing it in the corner somewhere, never letting people know what I was doing. But in 2014, when I started, I was very vocal. I was telling everyone. Now, some of you out there might be like, oh, too much pressure. I don't like that. It does work for me. I'm quite a stubborn person at times. So to sort of give myself the opportunity for people to go, oh, I told you so, it kind of drove me on. So I'm kind of doing this for that reason. I mean, I've got a lot of accountability anyway. I'm an online weight loss coach, and I have currently well over 350 people now that subscribe to my community. And out of those 300, I think it's 380 actually, out of those 380, 165 of those people are on a one-to-one plan. So again, I'm always very conscientious of being a hypocritical coach or not being a hypocritical coach. Basically, everything I coach you guys to do, if you're on plan with me, or even if you're just watching any of my videos on my social media, I will try and do that myself. All right, so no one can ever turn around and go, it's all right for you, Neil. You don't need to track calories anymore. You don't need to do these steps. No, I do it all. So I think at the start of this one, as it's kind of like the first time I've done one of these weekly vlogs, I'll give you a little rundown of how my weight loss journey has gone so far. Like I say, I've been at this 10 years, started on the 3rd of Feb 2014. So my 10-year anniversary, or 10th anniversary, is in a couple of weeks' time. So I started, when I started my weight loss journey, I was 37 stone. Over the next 3 years, 9 months, I lost about 17 stone, basically. And in November 2017, I decided to put weight loss on the back burners. I'm not saying it was I was at where I kind of wanted to be. I didn't really know at the time, but I just decided to concentrate more on kind of my health, my nutrition, my training. I'd currently joined going to night school, college to qualify to be a personal trainer. And yeah, I just decided at that time to put weight loss on the back burner. I was 20 stone 5 pounds. Now, just for context, I know 20 stone 5 pounds is still quite big, but just for context, I'm 6'5" tall. I'm just a big guy. I carry a bit more than average, sort of muscle mass because I train weights in the gym and stuff like that. So, at 20 stone 5 pounds, I couldn't tell you what my body fat percentage was then, but I was 20 stone 5 pounds, and from being 37 stone. I was like, I'm good at the moment. I'm quite happy with where I'm at. As I said, I was at college. I was going to night school to become a personal trainer, and I qualified in May 2018 and started being a PT in June 2018. I was doing it part-time to start off with for the first 6 months. I then quit my main job. and became a full-time personal trainer in January 2019. Now, from starting even just part-time personal training, obviously my movement was a lot more. Before I became a personal trainer, I had a few different job titles, really. I was company accountant, finance director, general manager of a domiciliary care agency. So I was very sedentary. I was very office-based. And that, I did all my, or the initial part of my weight loss in a sedentary day job, basically. So anyway, became a personal trainer, and just without even trying, I was still eating I was eating more food than I'd ever eaten ever, I think. I lost another 3 stone over about 18 months. It's just running around a gym 40 hours a week, doing PT sessions, doing fitness classes. I was teaching spin classes, body pump classes, kettlebell classes. So I just never stopped moving. And it was a good time, really, because like I say, I was eating ridiculous amounts of food. I was basically tracking to 3,000 calories a day, but not being very strict with it if I'm going to hold my hands up. And weekends, I did what I wanted. I always tracked at a weekend, but I used to do a lot of guesstimating. And when I say guesstimating, pre-tracking, basically Saturday, Sunday, I'd sit there in the morning and go, right, what am I doing today? Right, I'm having this, this and this. I'm going out tonight, Miller and Carter or whatever, or just having a takeaway at home. And I'd just sort of whack it in just to give myself a rough idea. So I'd probably track something like, 25,000 calories over a week. I was burning 30. I was burning 30. Like I say, the amount I was moving was ridiculous. So I lost another 3 stone as a PT. And I stayed around that, if I'm being honest with you. Even when COVID hit and my PT business disappeared because, gyms shut down. I say disappeared, I just didn't PT much in 2020. Anyway, 2021, we're kind of getting back to normal. PTing again full time, but not in a gym. From a little PT studio I built at my house. If anyone remembers me from my early TikTok days, I used to do a lot of lives in what I called the Real Lost Boss Gym. But I was nowhere near moving as much as when I worked in a gym. I wasn't doing anywhere near as many fitness classes and things like that, teaching those classes. And over the space of a couple of years, I gained 3 stone back, where I ended up back where I was in 2017. And that's where I've sort of sat, really. That's where I've sat. Now, I did set myself a mission. Well, in October 2022, I weighed myself. I went to Benidorm for a week. So there was a lot of water retention involved in this. I went to Benidorm for a week, weighed myself when I got back. And I was 21 stone. That's the heaviest I've been for a long, long time. And over the space of sort of October, November into Christmas 2022, I lost about 1.5 stone, actually. I went at it quite hard. Bit restrictive, if I'm being honest with you. But I went at it quite hard. Lost 1.5 stone, gained probably half of that back over Christmas 22. We then went to Gran Canaria beginning of 22. Lost a bit more, gained quite a bit back. Went to America for 2 weeks, 2023, March, April time. And then last year, I just hovered around the 20 stone mark, if I'm being honest with you. I hovered around the original weight where I kind of went, yeah, I'm done with weight loss for a bit of time. And my mission in 2023 was to get down, in my mind, I was like, I'm never going to get down to 17 stone again because, that's where I was, like I say, when I was moving ridiculous amounts. And I just, I do a sedentary day job now. I'm an online weight loss coach. I sit in front of my computer 30, 40, 50 hours a week at least. I'm happy. If I can ever get away with the odd week doing 30 hours work, I'm more than happy. But normally I'm 40, 50 hours sat in front of this computer. So I'm back doing a sedentary day job. So my movement's never going to be as it was as a PT. I don't really want to restrict myself overly with calories. So my goal in 2023 was to meet myself in the middle, get down to around about 18.5 stone. Somewhere around the 265 pound mark. I think that's where I wanted to be. And it just never happened. Inconsistent. All the things I tell you guys you need to be, you need to understand I'm still on my own journey. I'm still trying to get things right. And I'll always be on this journey. It's something I've always put into my mindset that, I'm always going to be on a weight loss journey. Anyway, there we go. So anyway, I have said to myself 2024. Now, I'm not unhappy with the way I look. I'm not unhappy vanity-wise, because I know a lot of us lose weight for vanity. But one thing I have noticed over the last couple of years, since I've gained this sort of 3 stone back, the pressure on my knees, pressure on my body, my mobility's decreased a little bit. Knees feel a bit sore. I'm not quite as mobile as I was. I've got arthritis in both my knees. I actually medicated for arthritis. I don't know if anyone else takes this, but I have been for a few years now, to be honest with you. I take this stuff, sulfasalazine. I take 2 in the morning, 2 at night time. I've got rheumatoid and psoriatic arthritis. My knees are pretty bad. My ankles don't seem too bad. My knees are pretty bad. My left hip's not great. I have started feeling some niggles in my right hip. Obviously, hips get a lot of battering, a lot of weight bearing on your hips. I get psoriatic arthritis in my joints. I've got a lot in my wrist. You might not be able to sort of tell, but my right wrist is a lot chunkier than my left wrist. And again, that's down to arthritis in there. Again, with my fingers, I get a lot of arthritis in these joints here. So again, I don't know if you can tell with my fingers, but this one's quite a bit misshaped compared to that one. But yeah, you know, one thing weight does do, even though I'm fit, I'm healthy, I eat healthy, I exercise quite a bit, I do a lot of steps, is it does put pressure through the body, especially through the joints. And me being 6'5", because I've got a lot of long limbs, isn't great either. So anyway, my mission in 2023 was to get down to about 18.5 stone. And that is still my mission in 2024. And I need to do it. I want to do it. And that's a reason for doing these vlogs, these weekly vlogs. It's just kind of to keep me a bit accountable, let you know how I'm going. How's it going? What am I doing? So what am I going to discuss in these vlogs? I know I'm waffling on. You'll get to know that. When I'm doing podcasts, I'm very like, right, I'm talking about this topic. And, you know, I try and, you know, just stay close to anyone, you know, and really sort of, I don't script my podcasts. Nothing's really planned them. I just talk from my head and my heart. But yeah, I try and keep on topic. You'll notice if anyone ever watches any of my social media lives, I do a lot of TikTok lives mainly, probably about 8 hours a week. Yeah, I go off on tangents all the time and I can waffle. And that'll probably be the same in these little vlogs. I don't want it to be, again, they're not scripted. It's just me coming on and having a little chat about how my week's gone the previous week. So what am I going to discuss? Well, I'm going to discuss a few bits and pieces. What I've sort of noticed over the week, things that maybe have got into my head a little bit. I'll discuss my eating, I'll discuss my movement, and things that have worked for me, things that might work for you, things you might like to eat, things you might like to try. I don't know, really. I have no idea where they're going to go, but it's probably just going to be, again, waffling on for half an hour or so. But anyway, here we go. So last week was the 3rd week of Jan 2024. And it's been, I've had a great year so far. I really, really have. I feel so motivated. It's untrue. And again, I think that's just down to the fact that, yeah, I think the last 6 months of last year, I have noticed with my mobility that, you know, a lot of aches and pains in my knees, struggling a little bit more than I probably ever have done. And, you know, some of that might be getting older. Like I say, I'm 10 years into my journey now. I'm 44 this year. I was 33 when I started my journey. So obviously time deteriorates. And when I first started my weight loss journey, bit of a hypochondriac, if I'm being honest with you. I was going to the doctors a lot, worried about, you know, the damage I'd done. You know, I've been 37 stone for a lot of years, probably since my mid-20s. I've certainly been over 30 stone, I would say, from being 20, 21. And that's, you know, to get to that sort of size, you ain't doing much exercise, you ain't doing much healthy eating, if I'm being honest with you. So I've always been quite worried about, have I done any long-lasting damage to my body? And it's not something I do worry about. And obviously the body repairs and heals itself and stuff like that. But yeah, starting from my journey, I was a bit hypochondriac, going to the doctors quite a lot. And yeah, I've always had bad knees. I've had bad knees for a lot of years. So I went for some MRI scans, and basically the doctor sort of told me it's just my obesity, the damage that had been done to me. They could see at the time little signs of arthritis in there, and that's obviously worsened over the years, even though I've lost my weight and, you know, I'm very active. It just is what it is. But he sort of said, how he sort of put it was, he said, my GP was like, the weight you've carried for the years you've carried it for, you've kind of accelerated the deterioration of your joints, you know, arthritis, osteoporosis, things like that. And he said, you know, I think I was about 36 at the time. I think this was before I became a personal trainer, because I was kind of trying to have a bit of a health check before, becoming a PT, and making sure, obviously, running around a gym for 40 hours a week wasn't going to affect my mobility, deteriorate it, speed it up, as it were. And he just sort of said, look, basically, your joints are about 15, maybe 20 years ahead of the time. So at the time, I was 35, 36. And I had the joints of someone in their mid-50s. Now I'm in my early 40s. I've got the joints, early to mid-40s. I've got the joints of someone probably in their early 60s. So when I'm in my 50s, so, like I say, it is what it is. But losing some weight will definitely help. It's definitely going to take the pressure off those joints. Am I going to need some new knees? Yes. Could I have them now? Yes. I don't know. I don't mean I could have them now in the NHS if I wanted to have them now. But, do I feel like I'd love some new knees? Yes. But these, I'm going to make them last me as long as I can. And I just feel the lighter I am. Now, like I say, I'm 6'5" tall. I'm a big guy. I like lifting weights in the gym. I like training. I like my food. I'm never, ever going to be a skinny mini. In fact, I'll put a picture up now. This is the skinniest and I'm not even skinny. This is the leanest I've ever been. This is in COVID in 2020. And I actually carried less muscle than I do now in this picture. But yeah, I was knocking on 70, just over 17 stone. I actually thought I was 18 stone in this picture, but I've gone back through my weight app and found that I was 17, just over 17 stone in this picture, and just under 20% body fat. So I'm currently sat now, last time I weighed, last week, I'll talk about that very, very shortly, just under 20 stone. I'm just under 20 stone and I'm 24.6% body fat. So I'm not stupid. My body fat's actually in a healthy range for a male. Anything between 20 and 25 is all right. So I'm not, I haven't got ridiculous amounts of excess body fat. I'm just, like I say, a big guy. But if I could get down to early 20s with the body fat percentages, and if I could get down, if I can drop another 21 pounds is my goal. So yes, I told you I'd go off on tangent. So we're in week 3 of I'm going to discuss week 3. Week 1, week 2 went very, very good. Week 3, great again. So my calories that I stick to for weight loss is 2,750 calories a day, right? 19,250 calories over a week. Now, I only look at calories as a weekly whole. I look at my daily calories as an average. Some days I eat less, some days I eat more. And I always try and stick to that weekly number. It just allows for a lot of flexibility. And what I tend to do is I tend to eat less than my average Monday to Friday. And that allows me to then bank calories to have a higher calorie weekend, so I can enjoy some of the foods I love. I love pizza. I love fish and chips. I love a McDonald's. I love a KFC. I'm never going to apologize for that. And you don't need to. There's no such thing really as an unhealthy food. Eating a double cheeseburger from McDonald's, it might not be the most nutrient dense food, but having that one cheeseburger doesn't make you unhealthy. There is such a thing as an overall unhealthy diet and an overall healthy diet. And if you have an overall unhealthy diet, but you have a little bit of veg in there, that doesn't make you healthy. Likewise, if you have an overall healthy diet and you have the odd McDonald's or pizza or some chocolate in there, that doesn't make you unhealthy. A lot of people struggle to grasp that on social media. There's a big movement at the moment. That's processed, that's ultra processed, that's not healthy. And everyone thinks you have to eat 100% one certain way to be classed as healthy. And you don't. You really don't. So I eat 2,750 calories a day. And like I say, I tend to eat a little bit less than that Monday to Friday. And that allows me to eat a little bit more. But my main goal is 19,250 calories a day. And I call that my ideal deficit. If I can hit that week in, week out, I'll lose on average 1.5 pounds of body fat, which means my 21 pound weight loss should be happening in 15, 16 weeks, 4 months, give or take, if I was bang at it. Now, obviously, we've got things that come up in life that mean we can't stick to a calorie deficit all the time, like some holidays and stuff like that. But for me personally, my target is to get there at the end of June. I'm not putting any pressure on myself. I am giving myself some weeks in there with a bit more freedom. But if I can do that by the end of June, I'm happy. If it happens any sooner than that, it's just a bonus. So I'm going for the end of June. That's my mission with that. Now, you might be like, 19,250 calories. That is loads, Neil. It isn't. It isn't. You know, your calorie allowance is based on the amount of calories you burn. I'm a big guy and I move a lot. So because of that, I burn a lot of calories. I burn about 3,500 calories a day. Right? So I put myself in a 750 calorie deficit. Now, most of my clients I put in a 500 calorie deficit because they don't burn as many calories as I do. I do get some clients that burn as many calories as I do. I get some clients that burn more calories than I do, and they'll go into a bigger deficit. The bigger you are, the more weight you can lose. The first year of my weight loss journey, I dropped 10 stone. It then took me another 2 years, 9 months to do another 7 or 8 stone. So, and that's just because of how hard your body has to work. But anyway, 819 to 50, and I call that my ideal deficit. If I ever the odd week go over that, I don't beat myself up. My calorie maintenance is 24,000 calories a week. So as long as I eat less than 24,000 calories a week, I'm going to lose some amount of body fat. Right? The closer I am to 24,000, the less body fat I'm going to lose. So anyway, last week, so my ideal deficit is 19,250. And last week, by the way, if I'm looking over, I'm looking at my computer because I've got my NutriCheck opened up. And if I go into my week view for last week, I ate 375 calories under. So I was just under 19,000 calories last week. So I absolutely boxed it off. I ate 566 calories on Monday, 522 on Tuesday, 318 on Wednesday, 332 on Thursday, 213 calories on Friday. That's under my 2,750. And I ate 1,100 over. So I on Saturday, I ate over 3,800 calories. And I was 500 over on Sunday. So I had 3,250 calories. And overall in the week, that put me just under 19,000 calories. So last week, I lost 1.5 pounds of body fat. Did I? Yes, I did. Have I got on the scales? Yes and no. So I weigh myself every 2 weeks. And officially, my weigh-in is this Friday. So I weigh every 2 weeks. It's what I recommend people do. It's just, you know, as the saying goes, a watch kettle never boils. So if you're jumping on the scales all the time and hoping to see big drops, it's just not going to happen. If you weigh yourself every couple of weeks and you're consistent with what you're doing, you're going to see some reasonable results every time you get on the scales. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, you know, do I always practice what I preach? No, I'm only human. And after Christmas, I gained 8.8 pounds over Christmas. So I weighed on the 20th of December. I then weighed on the 1st of January and I gained 8.8 pounds. And I had a thin day. Does anyone else have thin days? I have thin days. You know those days you wake up and you go, I'm having a thin day. I also have fat days still. Days where I wake up and I feel a bit bloated and stuff like that. But I think it was Thursday. I was having a thin day last week. So I thought, you know, I'm going to have a little look on the scales. I did weigh on the 12th of January. That was my official check-in date. I stick to official check-ins just like my clients do. So yeah, I was 7.6 pounds down. So 1.2 pounds still left of my post-Christmas weight, but I'd lost 7.6 pounds in the first 11 days back at it after Christmas. Good chunk of water weight, but there will have been a little bit of fat loss in that from the calories I've stuck to. And then, you know, 6 days after that, last Thursday, I decided I was having a bit of a thin day, so I'll have a little check on the scales. And I'd lost another 1.4 pounds. So the 1.2 pounds I was on. Basically, I'm 9 pounds down when I weighed on Thursday. So I lost my 8.8 pound Christmas gain and another 0.2 of a pound. So, you know, and like I say, a good chunk of that, with the deficit I've been in, I hit my ideal deficit first week. I was 600 under, not last week, the week before. And last week I was 375 under. So really, math-wise, I would say I've definitely lost 4 pounds of body fat, 5 pounds of water retention, which works out about right. And this Friday coming up is my official check-in. So hopefully I'll do another weekly weight loss vlog next week, and we'll see where I am at. So, yeah, I'm 9 pounds. I'm 9 pounds down in 2024. Like I say, good chunk of that's water retention, but it shows I'm definitely going in the right direction. This week, foods that I'm going to talk about, foods that I've really enjoyed eating this week. Again, there just seems to be this flipping culture on social media at the moment that you can't enjoy food, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying food. all we need to understand about food is, certain foods are healthier, certain foods are unhealthier, certain foods have a lot of nutrition in it, certain foods don't have a lot of nutrition. Like I say, overall healthy diet. And my diet's been absolutely bang on. Now, what I class as being healthy, some people might not class as being healthy. What I class as being unhealthy, some people might say, it's actually quite healthy. It's all a little bit of personal preference, but there was a lot of demonization on social media around things like protein shakes, protein bars, protein puddings, protein yogurts. I think they're all perfectly healthy. Are they processed food? Of course they are. There's loads of things we eat processed. Tins of beans, tinned chickpeas, tinned tomatoes, processed foods. Are there, how I look at food is, in terms of health, it's not about the process. Yes, there's books out there and lots of reports out there, and a lot of people will say if a diet that's high in ultra processed food, you're going to be unhealthy. Yeah, if a diet's high in ultra processed food, and I class ultra processed food really as things like your Rustler's burgers, some of your really cheap chicken nuggets, stuff like that. Yeah, pizzas, stuff like that. Your McDonald's. Yeah, it's ultra processed food. But things like bread. People saying that bread should only have 4 ingredients in it. It's like, no, it shouldn't. Preservatives, additives, things added to food in this day and age. Lots of different ingredients that we wouldn't have in the kitchen cupboard at home. It doesn't mean it's bad for us. It doesn't mean we shouldn't eat it, right? What we have to understand is we have something called the FSA, which is the Food Standards Agency, and all these different additives that go into food are regulated by them. They're perfectly fine to consume in the amounts we consume them. And this is the context that's always missed out on a lot of stuff. When you have something like an emulsifier or a stabilizer or a preservative in food, they're there to bind foods together, to make them look better. They're there to make them last longer on the shelves, which I feel is a good thing because it means that food's a lot more affordable nowadays because it cuts down on food waste. I always use the comparison, a loaf of bread in Aldi. I can go to Aldi now and get a loaf of bread for 50, 60p. Whereas if I go to my local butcher's, bakers, where they only use bread that, might only have 3 or 4 ingredients in it, goes off in a day or two. Goes hard and crusty and dry, and you've got to chuck it in the bin. And, I can't afford to be chucking £3 loaves of bread in the bin because I don't eat stupid amounts of bread. Not for the fact that it's not good for us. Bread's really good for us. When I say stupid amounts of bread, I have bread every day, but two slices, maybe 3 at the most. But anyway, I'll do a podcast on my views on ultra processed foods. But anyway, foods that I really enjoyed eating last week. The number one thing I'm going to mention is banana protein pancakes at Aldi. I do a lot of shopping at Aldi. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not paid by them. I've done one thing with Aldi where Aldi didn't pay me, but a brand that sells their stuff in Aldi, which is the Erman chocolate mousse. Last year, I did some work for them and I got paid for that. Other than that, I don't get paid at all. Why do I shop at Aldi all the time? Couple of different reasons. Convenience, it's on the way home from the gym that I go to. Number 2, it's cheap. Now, don't get me wrong, Aldi's got a lot more expensive than it used to be 4 or 5 years ago, but it's still cheaper than any other supermarket out there. Another reason why I shop at Aldi, it's fantastic for weight loss because there's no big brand temptation. We all get wrapped up in, there's no big brand temptation and no big brand deals. Buy 2 packets of Kit Kats, get 1 free. Tony the Tiger, with his thumb up at you. There's none of that. So I like that. It controls my buying a lot more. It's fairly cost effective. And it has some absolutely amazing, stuff that's a great support for weight loss, like protein pancakes. And I'm not saying they're the healthiest thing in the world. They're not. But you can make them into a very healthy dish. So what I've been having a lot of, I think I've had it 5 times in the last 5. No, I've had it 4 times in the last 5 days. Couple of banana protein pancakes, Greek yogurt whipped up with some protein powder to flavour it. I had white chocolate this morning. Absolutely delicious. Some mixed berries, some strawberries and blueberries on there. A little drizzle of honey. Absolutely delicious. Loads of protein. Some nice vitamins, minerals and nutrients in the mixed berries. The portion size I have, it's about 400 calories, which isn't ridiculous for anyone's calorie allowance if you're sticking to a healthy, sustainable calorie allowance. Absolutely, loved it. And I'm a bit like that, mate. I'm a very repetitive eater. I get sort of attached to something. I'll eat it a lot for a few weeks or a few months sometimes. Then I'll get a bit bored of it and then I'll move on to the next thing. Repetitive eating is absolutely fantastic, especially when you're tracking calories, because I've got enough of those protein pancakes. I'll probably have it for my breakfast tomorrow. I'm probably going to have it for my breakfast on Wednesday. Well, I've put it in today, and I'll just eat the same thing tomorrow and the same thing on Wednesday. I might change the flavour of the protein powder, and I can just copy. Bang, 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 copy. Dead easy to track. Other things I ate last week. Gym Kitchen. I don't know if you've seen the Gym Kitchen. They kind of do healthier foods, as it were, or calorie control foods. And they sent me a big box a week and a half ago. They sort of emailed me saying, we've got a load of new products out. We're going to send them over to you. I get that quite a bit with certain companies. It's quite good, really. If you fancy trying this, we'll send you some out. And they just want a little post on, they don't pay me any money. They send me free products and they just want a little post on Instagram or on Instagram stories or something like that. Anyway, Gym Kitchen, they sent me 4 ready meals last week. And again, I'm not saying a ready meal is the healthiest thing in the world to eat. But it certainly isn't the most unhealthiest thing in the world to eat. And we've got to look at the context of what we're trying to do or target audience. If you currently for dinner are smashing Greg's in, a KFC, or you're going and getting a Tesco meal deal that's 1,000 calories, are you much better having any type of calorie control ready meal instead of that? Of course you are. Absolutely. So last week I had 4 Gym Kitchen meals. I had a chicken and mushroom fettuccine, a chicken roast dinner, a chicken katsu curry, and a chicken paella. So a lot of chicken in there. The best one I had was the chicken katsu curry. Absolutely love that one. Really, really good. The chicken dinner was really nice, but it was a chicken dinner. It was a piece of chicken, some potatoes, some carrots, some peas and gravy. It was nice, but would I personally go out and buy that? I can make that myself in 10 minutes, really. And the chicken and mushroom fettuccine, who doesn't like pasta? The chicken and mushroom fettuccine, I'm looking at it here, was 409 calories, 30 grams of protein, and I added 15 grams of parmesan on top. Absolutely delicious. And the chicken katsu curry was 327 calories. 327 calories. For 25.5 grams of protein. Now, the portion wasn't massive, so I actually had a high protein wrap from Aldi with it as well, just to add 180 calories, another 10 grams of protein. But, if you're someone that 330 calories, it was 400 grams of food. So the food wasn't massive. I always look at calories as well a little bit. And for me to eat 330 calories for my dinner is a little bit low. That is something I really, really enjoyed last week. Other foods I really enjoyed last week. Saturday night. So Saturday night is treat night, and I don't have cheats. We have treats, and so far in 2024, I've gone back to old school 2014. Neil, like 2024, 2014. I was a little bit restrictive at the start of my weight loss journey because I was still finding my way and trying to find this new method that I wanted to lose weight, and I didn't want to overly restrict myself. But what I used to do in 2014 was give myself 3-set treat nights where I just have a little bit more, right? So it might have been, I used to have a chippy tea on a Wednesday night. I only had a lightly battered fish and peas. Every now and then, last Wednesday of the month, I'd have a handful of chips with it, right? As long as I felt I deserved it. Again, a little bit restrictive mindset, but still had a chippy tea. Every Friday night, I used to go out and have 4 pints at my local pub and a bag of pork scratchings. And then on a Sunday night, I'd 9 times out of 10 have a Chinese. I used to have a main course and egg fried rice. That was it. No loads of starters, no loads of this. Just a main course and egg fried rice. And I class that as a treat night. I kind of over the years, that's kind of could develop into a full treat day sometimes. Oh, it's Saturday. I've banked 2,000 calories for the week. And I wouldn't be conscientious about what I was eating on a Saturday day. I'd just make sure it fitted in with my calories, which is fine. But then my eating could get away with me. I wasn't having enough protein, wasn't having enough fibre, wasn't drinking enough water. Just a bad routine, really. So 2024, I've kind of gone back into that treat night mentality. Now, I always have a bag of crisps every night. I love crisps, and I always find that having a little bit of something you enjoy is a great way of sustainability on your journey. It keeps cravings at bay. It's what's worked for me. Don't get me wrong, at the start of my journey, I had to learn self-control. I think that's one of my weight loss coaching lives. By the way, guys, if you join my online community, I do 2 weight loss coaching lives every week. And I think I'm doing a live tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. You might not, I say tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. It is the 22nd. I'm recording this on the 22nd. So the 23rd at 10 a.m. I think I'm doing a live on self-control. You might be watching this after that time. But any live that I do in my Facebook group, which is where I do my weight loss coaching lives, they're saved permanently to the group. So you can watch them back whenever you. So even if you're watching this in a year's time, you'll be able to go back. But I love crisps. It's one thing I do absolutely love. And, you know, I have a bag of crisps every day. It might just be one of these, which are in Aldi at the moment. I love these. The Transformer Snack Saucy Barbecue. 60 calories a bag, belting. Why are they 60 calories a bag? Because they're flipping tiny. They are. But because they're corn snacks and they're so light, you still feel like you're getting a good few crisps, but only 12 grams. Great portion control, all right? No less calories than normal Walkers, just better portion control. The normal bag of multi-pack crisps. If I've got one here, I have. Oh no, that's a baked bag. Have I got a normal bag? I have. I've got these. These are weird Christmas flavours. These probably need to go in the bin, actually. I don't have any. But pigs in blankets. But this is a normal multi-pack bag, 24 grams. This one is 12 grams. But whether I have this or this, I feel like I've had a bag of crisps. Does that kind of make sense? So I will be having one of these tonight. So I always have a little bag of crisps every night. Like I say, it works for me, keeps my cravings at bay. At the beginning of my journey, I had to learn self-control, just like you have to. But if you try and banish everything out of your diet, you're just going to hate life, really. There's nothing wrong, again, with enjoying certain foods, and we've all got those foods that we enjoy eating. Saturday night, though, was treat night. So going back, rather than having, you know, I treat Saturday day a bit like I would treat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You know, I think I had my protein pancakes for breakfast. I had a nice healthy lunch, protein shake mid-afternoon. And then Saturday night was a treat night. And on Saturday night, new in Aldi, I had the Aldi Gastro British Beef Short Rib Pizza. Well, we had that, and we had a cheese and tomato pizza as well, and we had half and half. We're trying not to go out much in January. Trying to save a few pennies. Also, it's very easy for tracking if you have, like, a bought-in pizza. And I love a pizza on the couch. Again, I'm never going to apologise for that. Can I eat it every night? No. Can I build it into my calorie allowance once a week? Absolutely. But yeah, the British short rib gastro, it was absolutely banging. It's literally, it doesn't have a tomato sauce base. I think it has like a bit of a kind of bechamel kind of base with cheese and then short rib, and then you get a bit of truffle oil to drizzle over it. Absolutely delicious. I had half a pizza and half a cheese and tomato pizza. Half a pizza of that short rib, 630 calories. So the full pizza, 1,260 calories. Again, if you've got a healthy calorie allowance and you've got a decent amount of movement, you should be able to build that in. So yeah, really, 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 really good. And then after tea, I had a jam donut, Morrison's jam donut. Absolutely love them. You know, like they're like, I bet they're not 50p anymore. I think they're 80p actually. 80p for 5 raspberry jam donuts. They're 215 calories each in Morrison's, which I feel they're really good for 200 calories. Like, you feel like you're proper getting a nice treat. So I had one of them. I had a bag of toffee popcorn. I had a few chocolates left over from Christmas. And I had a bag of scampi fries. So my tea on Saturday night was 1,500 calories. And my snacks, kind of, while we were watching a film, was 700. So I had 2,200 calories on Saturday night. But again, I banked lots of calories during the week. So it all just fitted in, basically. In terms of movement, last week, how did I get on with my movement? Steps are so important. The number one. Now, your steps target is always relative to you, and it will be different for different people. You know, some people his step target will be 6,000 steps a day. If you've got any sort of big weight issue or any mobility issues, you doing 6,000 steps a day might be the same as someone that has no weight issue, or I don't mean they don't have a weight issue, but doesn't have any mobility issues and they're not really overweight. Could be the same as that, you know, someone 23 stone with some mobility issues doing 6,000 steps a day will be the same as someone 13 stone with no mobility issues doing double that, is kind of how it works. But my step target is always 70,000 a week. Again, I always look at steps as averages, the same as calories. So 70,000 a week, 10,000 a day on average, 10 times 7, 70,000. But again, Same as my calories, really. Some days I'll do 9,000. Some days I'll do 14,000. Today, like I said, when we're recording this, we're recording this on the 22nd, and it's currently 5 p.m. 22nd of January, it's currently 5 p.m. I've done 8,127 steps today already. By the time I take the dogs out for another walk and I make tea and I do a few bits and pieces around the house, I'll do 10,000 steps. Today, not a problem. Last week, I averaged 10,800 steps a day. So I did a really, really good amount of steps last week. Really happy with that. Anything over 10,000, I'm well happy with. You know, like anything over 10,500, it's you know, it means I've done over 75,000 steps last week. So that's a really good amount of movement. And that's, again, why I can eat 2,750 calories a day. Do we do any walks? No, just pottering about. Yesterday, we did one walk for an hour. We went to the beach. It was probably not the best weather to go to the beach. But anyway, we committed to it. And it certainly blew the cobwebs away. So we went down to the beach. I live, by the way, just outside Blackpool. So we went to St Anne's Beach, which is next to Blackpool. And it's got a really good sort of... You could probably walk up and down the beach for a good few miles, really, either way. But we sort of get on the beach and we do 30 minutes and then turn around at 30 minutes and walk back because we pay for an hour's car parking. So I did a good hour walk then, which got about 6,000 steps in, something like that. But normally I get my steps in just from pottering about. I walk the dogs twice a day, normally 20 to 30 minutes after lunch, 15, 20 minutes at night time. I always do a little bit of something step-based in the gym. So this morning, for example, I jumped on the cross trainer for 10 minutes. I go to the gym 5 days a week. Now, you don't need to exercise to lose weight, but I just love it. It's something I've done from the start of my journey, and it's something that really I think the main reason I exercise is for my mental health. It keeps my mental health absolutely bang on. You know, I was on and off antidepressants from 19 to 33. From starting my journey, eating healthier, moving more, doing regular exercise, I've never had to go anywhere near an antidepressant. And a big part of that is exercise. So you don't need to go to the gym 5 days a week. Some people might think that's excessive. For me, it's just what I prioritise and it's just what I enjoy doing. And I find the gym quite social. I've been going to the same gym now for nearly 10 years. Got a lot of friends there, a lot of people I know there, and I enjoy going. I really do enjoy going. So we did the gym 5 times last week. So we did Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So lots of movement. And again, that's another reason why I can eat the calories I eat. Right, I'm gonna end that there, I think, because I have been waffling on quite a bit. So yeah, get in the comments, guys, if there's anything you want me to discuss about what I do on a week-to-week basis, if there's anything different. But like I said, I know I've waffled on a little bit, giving you a little bit of kind of like a bit of background to how my journey's run over the last 10 years and why I'm currently focusing on weight loss. And that's something you need to understand about your weight loss journey. Even when you get to your goal and you just like, I'm going to maintain, there's always going to be periods of time where weight creeps back on a little bit and you're going to have to, you know, knock it off. It's just easier it is, especially if you're prone to weight gain, which obviously I am, right? That might be another podcast. When I say prone to weight gain, there's certain attributes in me that makes it easier for me to gain weight. It's not a gene. You know, I honestly don't believe there's a genetic gene or an obesity gene. Again, maybe that's a podcast discussion. Yeah, I think I'll do that as a podcast. I might do it as my next podcast. I'm going to record a new one this week anyway. Anyway, so that's kind of like my little weekly weight loss vlog. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to hopefully do these most Mondays. So like I say, if there's anything you want me to discuss in the vlog, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. If there's anything you think I can change or improve on, or, you know, anything you're interested in me discussing. But, you know, mainly food movement is what I want to discuss, because that's kind of what we're sort of focused on, really. Yeah, there we go. Guys, if you need help with your weight loss, I am an online weight loss coach. You can join my community. It's £5 for the first month using code WELCOME. You can come on my one-to-one plan, which is currently half price to sign up until the end of January. I will put the link for the inquiry form in the description. So if you just want to send over an inquiry form for different details, I'll be honest with you, if you are subscribing to my YouTube, you're following me on any of my social medias, you know, I'll always do you a little deal if you want to come on plan with me. My plans are always a monthly subscription plan, so they're very affordable, very cost effective for most people. But anyway, I'll put a link to all my social medias. I'll put a link to my website in there, which is where you sign up to plan with the community. And when you come on Plan of the Community, I will give you a calorie breakdown if that's something you've never even looked at, you're unsure where to start. How do you start counting calories? Number one, you need a healthy, sustainable calories to stick to. And then number two, you need an app to use to track your calories. I use NutriCheck, by the way. I've already sort of discussed different bits and pieces on here. Anyway, right, I'm going to wrap that up. I have no idea how long this is. I've just been, like I say, waffling on. But anyway, until next week. And next week's weekly, I'll talk about my check-ins. It's my check-in on Friday, the 26th of January. So next week's weekly weight loss vlog, I'll be able to talk about my check-in and where I'm at and what weight I've lost so far in total since Christmas. Hopefully, fingers crossed as always. It's the beauty of tracking calories, though. When you know you're doing something right, eventually you're going to get the results. Guys, it's been a pleasure as always. And just like I say at the end of my podcast, until you watch my next podcast or until you tune into my next weekly weight loss vlog, make sure you're bossing your weight loss.